Hey guys, приветствую. It's nice to be at Slavic Baptist Church. My name is Misha. I'm from Smyrna Church in Vancouver. I actually visited you guys like twice. So today is going to be like a special, I believe God kind of like put in our hearts to make this happen specifically in your church. Because I remember the first time I came here and Kirill was preaching about the unity and the love that we should have amongst each other. I believe that this service should kind of uplift you in a way where you'd want to kind of engage with the youth or engage with each other. So I just want to start off kind of like speak about my testimony, how God brought me out of the way I was living to the way I was, and we're going to get into Sammy's testimony. So about 3 years ago, I came from Hawaii. I used to live in Hawaii for about 15 years. It's kind of weird because I was born in Siberia, but most of my life I lived in Hawaii. So it's a complete climate change. And then let me tell you exactly how you see the articles on TV of Hawaii. That's exactly how it is. You have the 86-degree weather every single day and night. You have the nice ocean. You have all the Hawaiians, dark skins. They're all like on the beach, and they do have this thing where they say aloha. Aloha means like you're welcome, and in a way they're always welcoming. No matter where you go, Hawaiians are really like, they never like give you like a stink face. They always like greet you with like warm welcome, no matter where you are. And the way they do that is they just give you a shaka, wherever you are. And usually if you want to like speak to Hawaiian, just show them the right shaka, and they'll start talking to you. Just don't do this. It actually watch your hand. It has to be like very loose. But it took me after 15 years, I learned the language. It's called Pidgin, be able to speak and connect with them. But I just want to kind of like tell what happened after those 15 years. After 15 years of living there, I got to a point where I graduated my culinary school. I had the job that I always wanted, which is to be a chef. I was working very minimal amount of work, but getting highest amount of pay. I had a car that I always wanted that I built, so I had a dream car. I knew all the Hawaiians because I was raised with them, so I had enough friends. And basically, I was living the life kind of how I wanted my life to be. And you have to understand, I never knew, but people always told me that rich people, they have money, but there's a time in their life where they get to a point where they don't know what they want anymore, but there's still some kind of hunger inside them. They just don't know what it is. And I got to this point where I saw that I had everything I wanted. I had the Hawaiian friends, those that support me. I had the car that I always wanted. I got a free lifetime membership at a gym. I got the job that I always wanted. And basically, a life that I always wanted, but I realized it's a circle of life. Every single day would be like the same thing. And I remember this is where all of it changed. In Hawaii, I used to be one of the leaders in the car scene. We used to gather at nighttime and we would go to car races, and there was like a big Hawaiian car scene. But you have to understand it's different from the way it's here. Over here, they have like Beamers, Mercedes, nice cars. Over there, it's all Honda Civics. I don't know, they're just like kind of below. I know their understanding is a little bit different. So if you drive an old car and it's slammed, you're cool. It doesn't matter what kind of paint job it is. So anyways, I was like always with them. And they called me a Russian because I was actually the only Russian in the high school when we used to go there. So they knew me as a Russian, but they would call you crazy Russian because they would watch so many Russian movies, and all we do is just fight and do crazy things. So their understanding of us was that kind of way. And I remember what I would do is when we would drive about 10 miles away where there's no cops, there's just lava fields everywhere and just a long stretch. And all the Hawaiians would just park on the side and just come out and lean over the car. And what they wanted me to do every single time is I drive my car all the way to the end of the road, and I would just boost it as fast as I can and fly by everyone as fast as I can make my car go. And this would give everyone the hype up, and that's where all the races would start. And I remember one night, I drove down, and I'm like preparing myself to just fly up the hill. So I start flying up the hill, first, second, third, hitting 100 miles an hour. I can see all their lights on the side of the road. And as I'm flying up the hill, I realized that I'm getting very close to them. And right when I was hitting about 130, I saw another car driving in, and I was like, okay, he's probably going to stand there. And when I was about 10 feet away, flying up the hill, he starts churning. And I think it was 20 feet away from me, from my front, but you have to understand, going at that high rate of speed, it literally takes only 2 seconds to get 20 feet forward. And I remember At that, it was like a feels like it was like a slow motion kind of picture where I had to make a decision. If I go this way to the right more to swerve around him, I'm gonna wreck every single car that's parked on the side, and there was a lot of youth over there. But if I yank to the left side, there's all the lava fields, so I'm gonna die. So you had this half a second thought, what am I gonna do? And I still remember I just swerved this way so I don't kill everyone. And I remember I started losing control. My car started swerving back and forth. I remember my back tail was just going back and forth, and I'm just trying to control it. And after like about 5-6 seconds of trying to control and press the brakes, I was able to maintain it, and I finally pulled over. And I remember my heart rate was so high I couldn't barely breathe. I'm like grabbing my chest, and at that time God kind of opened up to me. He's like, in that way, he's like, I could have ended your life here, and what would you go after? Would you really, as a Christian that you call yourself, go straight to heaven, or would you go straight to hell? Because your life could have ended right in this spot right here. So after the night, I had that kind of feeling, I went straight home. And I remember I came home, and my mind was set on a decision I had to make. I was like, what am I going to do next? I have to either choose the world or I have to choose Jesus Christ. And if I decide to go with Jesus Christ's way, I have to sacrifice everything. And I remember I came up to my mom, and I was like, Mom, I feel like I have to make a decision now. Either I just live for myself in the world right now because I have everything and I'm just going to stay here, or you get me out of Hawaii. And I told her this, and she said, okay, let's pray about it. We'll talk about this tomorrow. And I remember waking up in the morning, she come up to me and she says, you know what, just sell your car and move back to Portland because our family's here. And I was like, I didn't hesitate. In a way, like I was so careless about my car. I posted up for sale. Right away, I had buyers. Somebody bought it for a high price, and I moved away here. And when I moved to Portland, it was about 3 years ago. My mom calls me, and they said they're kicking us out of the rent. So it was kind of like God decided our whole family will come here. And the house that we got into, I had to stay there for 1 month. And I still remember I came there, and I promised God, if I move from Hawaii, I promise to give you my whole life. And I remember nighttime was 9 p.m. I'm sitting there in the middle living room. There's nothing, no couches, nothing in the living room. And I remember a scripture. I'll read this verse to you. This is so important to me. It's in 1 Corinthians 1:27. It says, but God chose what is foolish in the world to shame the wise. God chose what is weak in the world to shame the strong. I realized that God does not use strong people. He uses the weak people, those that you think of them as just a nobody. And I said to him, Lord, I know I'm not ever going to be on stage. I know I have a stage fright. I had so much pride in me. I never came up to anybody. And I said, but I believe in your word. I'm willing to give my life to you because you said you will use the weak. And I'm very weak. I don't know what to do, especially if I go and join the church. And when I give my life to him, fully repented, that night I realized the next morning there was some kind of change in me. Usually I'll wake up and check my social media, and this time I woke up and had a completely different nature. I went to a church, Smyrna. I signed up with their church. I became a member. I started looking for a ministry. I said I would do anything. I started having this inside hunger, and I realized there was no greeting team. So I said, I'm going to make a greeting team. So I started during youth. I would just stand by a door and just greet everyone. I was like, okay, I need to know the whole youth. And after a month, I was able to know the whole youth just by greeting them. Then they said they have no usher team. I said, okay, I'll do that. And I became an usher. And then they gave me a role model to come in earlier and just set up everything. And after that, they asked me to start doing testimonies. And I had to break myself down because I hated this stage fright. I was like, man, I have to really find something that I can testify about. And I realized I started doing that more and more. And God started opening my heart to show me that it's just taking the slow steps. And later I realized I started doing 10-minute devotions on stage. And later I started doing sermons. And later they promoted me to be a leader in our youth. And then from that, I still keep thinking back of the day that I said to Lord, I will give my life to you as long as you use me as a weak vessel. And this is more of encouragement that God can use anybody. I know we sometimes think we can't sing, we can't do this or that, we have no speech. But I'm telling you, when you sacrifice your life to Jesus Christ and fully give your heart to Him, He will use you. So today I brought my friend Sammy. So I used to always pray for God to give me Christian friends, because I know we all want those kind of friends that will uplift us in Jesus. And He gave me those kind of friends in our youth. But I never expected Him to give me a job where I work with somebody that loves Jesus too. And it so happened that I met him. I decided that he should share a testimony in our church. He shared it here in our church, and a lot of the youth got uplifted. And I felt like my calling should be going to other churches and kind of like, in a way, like uplifting them, sharing testimony, and just stirring up the fire. So I just want to introduce Sammy. He's my boss. He's my good friend, and he's a good leader. To share testimony. Praise God.
Thank you, Michael. Good evening. I'm so glad to be with you. And really, with Michael, we don't talk what I'm going to talk about it tonight. Just what he say, it was have my speech. Because God's work in him. And God's work in me, and God's work in you guys. And we connect all together. My message tonight is worth it, you following God. Is worth it or not, That was my message. That was, I prepare to talk about this. Because we are in America, we have good life, Everything is perfect for us, everything's ready. Just if you go to different country or different religion, when they follow in Jesus, what is the penalty and what they have to pay for that? And as a background Muslim, I give my life and everything for Jesus, and I follow him. I say, God, I'm going to give you everything. And what he did in Hawaii, I say, God, you want me to live for you or live to the world? And he say, okay, God, if you help me, I'm going to run from all this, and I'm going to live for you. And he did, and he flew to Oregon, and God's opened different door for him. Last night, before I told you who I am and what I'm doing and where I came from, I'm going to share this very important. Last night, I come down, my house is 2 floors. I come down, I see all my girls. I have 4 girls home. I don't have a boy, by the way, And all my girls sit down and they're watching The Voice, the new season. I don't know how many of you guys see the Voice. And I see each one of them, when they come into the stage, they talk about the good thing about him and his family. Everything is good. He have to show it up to let they choose him. They try the best song. They try everything just to go up. I was just sit down and I think about it. Just Christianity is not like this. Christianity, you have to talk about the bad thing in your life to be an app. An app is not like a look for something else. This app to be a son of God. That is our goal. That's our goal, to talk about the bad thing in my life, how much God, he left me up. Not talk about the good thing to God left me up. Did you get the picture? It's totally wrong, different pictures. My name is Sami Hassan. I'm from North Iraq. I'm a Kurdish. My mother language is Kurdish. Just I speak Arabic, I speak Persian and Turkish, and I speak a little bit English. And I have very bad accent. And any of your family home, they have same my accent, because we came in this age to America. We came in an age like a 30, 40. It's too hard to learn the English very well. And our accent is be like a people, oh, I love your accent. Just, And also is the English grammar, I think, is the worst grammar you can, just like you learn it. As I'm agree, in the school, you have very bad grammar English. Arabic is easier, Kurdish easier. Just English is very hard. It's not easy. I grew up in a very big family. I grew up in 18 brothers and sisters. I'm number 9 in the family. My daddy have 2 wives. As a Muslim religion, that's okay. You have 2 wives or 3 wives, that's okay. And we live in same property. We have 2 houses, one of them for my mom, one of them for another mom. I call both of them mom. We have a good team. We play soccer, we play volleyball, all family together. Brothers, sisters, all together. And I'm in the middle. I was a good Muslim, very good Muslim. I practiced the Islam very, very well. My daddy was proud of me, because when you go to funeral, he take me with him. I was reading the Quran. When we go to somewhere like old people sit down. He take me with him because all my other brother, they was a Muslim, just they don't practice the Islam 100%. That I was the one, I was fasting, praying, I do everything. What does the Islam want? I do. And my dad, he got shot when I'm converted to the Christianity. Because he was never thinking about, say, any other kids is convert to Christianity, he was don't care. That's about me, he was really surprised. When we was a kids, we live in a camp in North Iraq. We are from North, that's my dad, he was working South, the border between Iraq and Kuwait. And the camp that was, in 1960, my dad, he moved there. They start digging and looking for petrol between Iraq and Kuwait. The time he was, they bring the Iraqi people, they don't know how to suck the petrol. They don't know. They bring people from United States, they bring from Russia, they bring from Japan, from many countries to start to help Iraq to dig. And my dad, he was one of the professional work with them. Then my dad, very fast from the Islam, he changed for different life. Because those people is coming, they have like every day, they start drinking, dancing, they do everything. And my dad, he was a young guy at the time, my mom, she say, he was enjoyed it more than the Muslim people. That's when we grow up and have a 2 wife and kids grow up, and then we look at it. We don't have a dad. Our dad doesn't live with us. Our dad has come back in the evening, and every time he's coming, he's a drunk. He beat my mom 1,000 times, just I can see him. He beat us. One of the kids, he did something wrong, all the kids got beat off. Okay, he did wrong, Dad. Why you beat us? Because next time you don't do it. They beat us before we do it. This is how it was. Because of that, I was hate Christian people. Really, that's really I hate them. I don't like, even when we go to school, if there is a kid's Christian, we try to beat them. This much I was hate Christian people. Because I was thinking, they take my dad. They take my dad from us. They changed my dad for a different man. Till today, the people, they don't know what you mean Christianity, even in my country. They don't understand what is real Christianity, what is just Christian by name. All those people, we call them Christian, they was not a Christian. They was only Christian by name. They don't practice any Christianity. That's for the Muslim people, they say, they are the Muslim. That's why we have to very be careful what we are doing in this world. Because anybody can see us. I say, see what he did, the Christian guy? How they clothes, how they eat, how they talk. That's why we have to be very careful what we are doing, because the people judge us very fast. Anyway, we grow up, and until, in Iraq, every 18 years old, every man 18 years old, you have to serve the military. No women, just men. In Israel, men and women, you have to go to the military. And I was in the school, and I decided to be volunteer to the military. And I be special force in the Iraq military, and after a very short time, we jumped to the Kuwait and fight in the Kuwait Star. And I was one of those people in the Kuwait. I was first people jump to Kuwait. And I see a lot of things in Kuwait. I see how we killed, how we destroyed the country, how rape, everything. Stealing, we did everything. That's in a young guy, 20 years old, and I see all this because we was like a new generation, and you have more people older in the military, they do all this stuff. I come back home, I was so mad, and ask my dad why we did that. Why we practice as a Islam, we say love your neighbor, don't do that. Why we did everything in the Islam, they don't want it. And my dad have some excuse. I go to the Jami', I ask the leader of the Jami', and he have some excuse that I don't expect it. And after that, I left the military. I ran from Iraq, I went to Iran. In Iran, I have same problem. I went to the jail a couple times in Iran. I left Iran, I go to Turkey. In Turkey, I was like first time, I try just make it more short for you guys. They give me 30 minutes, and I have a 30 minutes of my life. I have to talk about every year like 1 minute for a year. I try just make it short for you guys to understand me, why I convert to the Christianity. I go Iran, and Iran after I go to Turkey. The Turkey, I was homeless. I was sleeping under bridge. I don't have anything. I don't have a paper. I don't have a money. I don't speak the language. It was too hard for me. And then I start with some Turkish people. I start we be a group. Any people coming from Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iraq, Iran, they come in. There is a border. They come from there, and then we stop them and we take anything they have. Money, watch, even you have a good clothes, you have to take the clothes out. Every night I was do that. Every night. Every night we go to the border. We know people going to pass, and we rape them. Take anything they have. After a very short time, after like a month and a half in the homeless under bridge, and one day I was walking, and a guy is coming face to face to me. This guy said, "Do you speak Arabic?" I say, "Yes." He said, "Okay, I'm a Turkish. Let's help me Arabic, and I help you Turkish. Does he speak a little bit Arabic? We be a good friend. That's my goal. It was not living. My goal, I want to go to Europe. From Europe, go to different country. That was my goal. I want to just make money together, pass the water, the ocean, and go to Europe. This is the only thing in my mind." This guy was a young guy, and I was thinking maybe, I don't know what is in his pocket, because I was like, every night I know how to steal. I know how to take people's pocket. It was easy for me. This guy was so nice with me. Every day he came and meet me, and he never talked about Christianity. And I never know he was a Christian. He would just try help me. How I can help you? How I can help you? Maybe after 2-3 times we met, and then one time he invited me to tea, and we drink a tea together. And it was a very small cup in Turkey, like a very small cup. It was so hard. I drink it, and he asked me about my family. Because at the time, it was no phone, no anything can reach your family. When he talked, he said, "Are you married?" I say, "Yes." He said, "Have a kids?" I say, "Yeah, I have 2. The time I was have only 2 of my left them." And when he started talking about my wife and my kids, the emotion inside you, because there is no phone, you cannot even hear the voices, It was very hard time for me. I start, like a tears came in my eye, and I was talking, and then I say, "You know what?" I told him the truth, everything. I say, "Hey, you know what? I'm a homeless, by the way." I was a liar. I say, "I have a paper. I don't live in a hotel. I live under the bridge." And I told him everything true for no reason. And he hugged me, say, "Why you don't tell me the truth? I can help you." This guy, he take me to the police station, finish my paperwork. From there, he said, "There is a United Nations office here. Let's take you to the United Nations and fill up paper for you. Maybe you are lucky you go to a different country." Because of him, I came to United States. Otherwise, I was maybe, I don't know, maybe die, or maybe I was in a different country. This guy helped me a lot, and after 3-4 weeks, he invited me to his house. He said, "Why you don't come to our home? My mom, she want to meet you." I went to his house with like 10 people sit down in one table, and it was a Bible study. I never heard Bible study before. I never have a Bible in my hand before. Because when Saddam Hussein, he was in prison in Iraq, Muslim people cannot share about the Islam with the Christianity. Christian cannot share. No way. You have your religion, go practice your religion. You practice religion, don't mix together. I never see Bible in my life. I went there, and they was talking, and then, what they talking about, those guys? I say, "Let's go pray." I say, "What?" They would sit down at the table and put a hand to hand, men with women, with the shoes and everything. We pray, close the eyes. I said, "Look, what? How you can pray, men and women hand?" My religion better. My religion, I wash my hand, face to Kaaba. Women cannot be in front of me, and I'm more close to God. And also, you have a shoe. And I told them the truth. After they finished, I say, "Guys, do you think this pray God can accept it?" They say, "Yes." I say, "You put your hand in your wife's hand. Man, come on, cannot do that." They say, "No, we can't do that." And this minute surprised me. For how many years I don't put my hand in my wife's hand. When you pray, listen to this is very important. In Islam, when you pray, 2 things, He destroy your prayer. 2 things. One of them, do you want to hear that? If it's a woman passed in front of you. If you pray, I'm praying right now. If one woman walk there, my prayer is gone. I have to renew it again. The second thing, black dog, a chihuahua. Listen, in the Islam, how much they bring women down. When they talk about the Islam, sometimes I sit down in a lot of places. I say, "You bring the women down, too much down." If I'm pray, women pass, my pray gone, and if there's a black dog is passed, that means they are matched. I'm sorry, sister, I say that. This I want you to know the picture why I left the Islam. You can beat your wife how many times you want. This is in the religion. You know the sword? Anybody be in farm, when you have a horse, you have a sword, long sword. He say, each household, you have to have one and put it in the house The wife, she can see it every day. That he mean, if you say something's wrong, I can beat you. That's the Islam. I was know about it. I don't know about it. And I was with this group. I start just come every Thursday night, and I was so excited to go there. And I was talking about my religion more better than your religion. For no reason, I start fighting with him about my religion. They talk about Christianity, I talk about the Islam. Every time I go there, I say my religion better because this, your religion better about this. And we know Isa, Jesus, better than you guys. I told the Christian people, because in the Islam, they talk very nice about Isa, about Jesus. They talk about Jesus 20 times more than what they talk about Muhammad. And hold the Quran or hold the Islamic religion, Muhammad, he don't did one mercy. Never. Zero. And they know Isa, Jesus, how many times he did mercy. He raised the dead. He opened the eyes. He do everything. The Muslim people, they know. They call him prophet. They don't call him son of God. And every time I told him, I said, I know Jesus better than you guys. I know Jesus better than you. Every time I told him that. Anyway, after maybe 4, 5, 6, they give me a small Bible. Still I have it. 20 years ago, 21 years ago, they give me a small Bible in Arabic language. There's only the New Testament, not the Old Testament. He said, this is a New Testament for you, and you can just read it, and maybe good for you. I said, okay. I take it home, put it in my pocket. Believe me, for 3 weeks, I was afraid to open it. I don't know. Does anybody hear my testimony before? No? Just 1, 2, 1? Okay, that's good. That makes it more easy to see which story I'm talking about, because I have many testimony in my life with God. The small Bible I put in my pocket for a couple of weeks, I was afraid to open, because in the Islam, he say, if you broken God's heart, 7 generations gonna pay the penalty. 7 generations. Listen, if I did something broken God's heart, me or my daughter or my kids, 7 generations, one of them, they're gonna pay penalty. When they see somebody blind in the Islam, they don't say this is why blind. They say one of his generation did something for God. This is why the kids is coming blind. Do you believe that? When the kids is coming and they're disabled, that's disabled. You know, many things they make the kids disabled. They say the kids come disabled because one of 7 generations before, he broken God's heart. This is why God judged him, and now they have a disabled kids. God judge you if you have a blind kids with don't see or doesn't hear. And I was afraid if I did something, maybe my kids, maybe 7 generations, they're gonna pay the penalty. If I see my 2nd generation, one of the kids is blind or one of the kids is disabled, I'm gonna judge myself because I did something wrong for God. This is why my kids is be disabled. I was afraid to open the Bible. I say, when I open the Bible, God gonna hurt my family. Every Thursday I go to the Bible, they say, did you read the Bible? I say, no. I was very honest with him. 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and after that I decided, say, no, I'm gonna open it. I can answer him. I can find something wrong in the Bible, and I can tell him this is what's wrong in the Bible. Because that's the only way I can tell him the Islam better than the Christianity. I read the Bible in the night. I finish whole the Bible in one night. Do you think that? Do you believe that? Smart guy. I would just look at page by page by page by page. That same story. That same story, the first, second, everybody talk about one person. He talking about Isa. He talking about Jesus. I don't take him right way. And I go back next Bible study, they told me, do you read the Bible? I say, yes. And I finish it. He say, how you finish it? I say, it was easy. I look first page and I see all the same. They talk about Jesus. All they talk about Jesus. They say he's right. They talk about Jesus. And then they start just working in me as a kids. They work with me as somebody is new. He don't understand what he mean Christianity. And they start pray for me. The first time somebody pray in my life, this group he pray. I never forget. 2 times in my life, people pray for me. I feel the Holy Spirit in the moment. He's checking my body. One of them, he was this time. I never forget, 20 years ago. They put me in the chair and they put a hand on me and they pray for me. They say, even you don't trust it, just God's going to love you. We're going to pray for you. I don't give my life, and then I come to America. God's open door. I come to America. I be a refugee. And then I start go to Arabic church in Houston, Texas. And every time I go to church, I feel like the pastor talk about me. What's going on? Christian people. Every time I go, they're talking about the sinner, because I'm the sinner. They talk about the thief. Yeah, I did something. They talk about, I say, what's going on? Every time Sunday I come in and boom, 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 they hit me. I'm only one here. Just for a few weeks, I feel the devil, like I share with my brother, the devil doesn't come from the door, doesn't come in the big door to show himself. He coming from small thing. Where's your witness? You know, he's coming from. And it was, every time I want to come to the church, say, they talk about you. This is all about you. Every time I go out, people come to the church. When he got out, he was happy because something going to change inside. Every time I come to the church and I was so mad. I was so mad. Coming to the time, I say, no, I'm not going to go to the church anymore. I'm not going to church anymore. It's coming Sunday. I told the guy, he take me right. I say, I'm not coming to church because I was a refugee. I don't have a car. People come and take me, bring me to the church and all the stuff. And I figure out, I say, I'm going to do the church because the church starts 11 o'clock, the worship until 12. 12:05, they're going to pray. After that, the pastor going to speak. I'm going to go in the church around 11:20 when the pastor starts speaking and I go in the back. If the pastor doesn't talk about what he was talking a few weeks ago, I'm going to go fight with the pastor. Say, why every time I'm here, you're talking about this? That night, I don't sleep all the night. Because I was planning for something bad. I planned to go inside the church and fight and all the stuff. I was not a Muslim. I was not a Christian. I don't practice Christianity. I don't practice Islam. I was loose. I don't know where to go. It was only my prayer. I say, God, I want to see you. I don't want to hear about anybody else. If you are real God, I want to see you and I want to hear your voice. That night, till next day, 3 times, very clear, I hear the voice say, today is your day. Today is your day. I want make a plan, go to the church. I enter the church. I don't know what happened in the church. Just I don't see anybody sit down in the chair. Everybody was laid down in the floor, and everybody was praying and crying. I don't know. I come inside the church. Just I feel like my feet start shaking. I was 20 years old when I was a special force. I was 22 when I go and I be a free fighter to bring the government, Iraqi government down for 4 years. I go Iran, I go to Turkey, I go all those countries, many mountains I walk without fear, without scare. That day I was scared. My feet start shaking. I cannot walk, come inside the church. I went inside the church and I see everybody lay down and crying. And I lay down and I start praying and I hear all the voices. It was about me, about my wife, about my kids. God gonna bless us. The pastor, he decide because we are not here, let's do a special prayer for Sam and his family. I lay down, I start praying and crying. I say, God, I don't need anything. I'm so tired of my life. I be 20 years, 21, 23, 24 years, I'm just running from country to country. I want just peace. I want a one night sleep. I want to just be like a human. That's all I need, and forgive me. Because what I did in my life, it was like it hurt me a lot. I need God just forgiveness. Believe me, I would start praying, and I see everything I did in my life. It was like a movie, like a filming. A lot of things, even I forget what I did before. God, He remind me. I say, I forget you for this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. I'm going to forgive you for all this stuff. If you follow in me, I give my life to the Lord this day. I promise God, say, I'm going to follow in you. Anything is happening in my life, that's it. It's worth it to follow in Jesus. A lot of people, they think when you follow in Jesus, your life is be perfect. No, It's been more worse. I lost all my family. I lost my mom, I lost my dad, I lost my brother, I lost my country, I lost everything because I follow in Jesus. For a year and a year, I was crying just to hear my mom's voice. For a year and a year, I was crying just God can open door one more time, I can see my dad. I lost everything because of Jesus. I lost my community when they figure out I be Christian. One time, we go to the funeral here in Portland. I feel like I'm still part of the community. And it was a funeral. I go to the funeral. I was like, same like other people. You believe me or not. People coming inside, shaking hand, everybody, to say hi. When they come into me, they pass me. Because I be Christian. It's worth it to follow in Jesus. All those pain is worth it. I do ministry in North Iraq. I go there every time, and I go and we go and help the Yazidis. I don't know if you hear about the Yazidis, the one ISIS, he take all the women. Maybe he was in the story, maybe if you search. And God put in my heart to go help those people, even they don't believe God. They don't believe any God. They believe the devil, he is the God. And God put in my heart to go help those people because they was in a very hard time. ISIS is coming and take all the women, all beautiful girl, and they kill many men they can, and the rest is run from country to country, and they end it in North Iraq. And I say, God, this is my country. I'm going to go there. I went there to help those people. I take one guy with me, is from Egypt. He lives in Portland, Oregon. His name is Samuel Hakim. He have a ministry, Redeeming the Nation. If you search for him, he's a very, very good guy, very nice ministry. He said, I'm coming with you. I said, okay. We went there, North Iraq, they speak Kurdish. This guy speaks Arabic, and I speak Arabic. And we sit down in a small restaurant. We was eating together, and we speak Arabic, and a guy very close to us. He's from the town. Because we look for somebody from the town, they can show us how we can go and reach those people. This guy, he hear us, we speak Arabic, and you know, when you go to some country, other country, and you somebody speak the language, you try just be close to him, like, I speak Russian too, you know, and he speak Star. I like that. He's coming and he starts, say, hey guys, you Arabic? I say, yeah, he's Arab, I'm Kurdish. He come and sit down with us. His name Hardy, is a very nice guy. And start talking, and we don't talk to him about Christianity. And just we're talking about what happened here in this city, and how many women got raped, how many kids got killed, and we start just talking about this one. He say, those people, they don't believe God. They don't have a God. I say, okay. He say, just the best way, we don't talk about Islam with them. I say, okay, we're not going to talk about Islam, you know, we are Christian anyway. I don't tell him I'm Christian. He say, okay. He say, the best thing we talk about Isa, Jesus. That's different way. He don't know we are Christian. Does he want to just, how we can help us to talk with those people who got hurt in the town? I say, okay, how we can talk to Isa? He say, because they believe Isa is not a Muslim, and also Isa is a good man, good prophet. Maybe we can just talk to him and bring him, just pull him from the religion they believe. So, okay, it's good. This guy, Hardy, nice guy. After 2 days, he gave his life to the Lord. He be Christian. With us, just come in and we talked to him about Christianity. He gave his life to the Lord. After 1 week, this guy, a group of young from his town, they figure out he is a Christian. They beat him to death. Believe me, when I visit him in the hospital, maybe 10 of his bone got broken. This much he beat him. That's because he following Jesus. We went to hospital, we visit him, and I see him. I give him a hug, and I say, congratulations. Everybody look at me like this. I say, you got beat for Jesus. I wish one time I get beat for Jesus. That make me so happy. This guy, after 2 weeks, they fire him from his job because they figure out he's a Christian. After 3 months, they take his wife and kids, and they force him to divorce his wife and kids because he following Jesus. This guy goes through a lot of pains, and every time I talk to him, I say, he's worth it. He say, yes, he's worth it. I don't see him, never he say no. I was so proud of him. Really, I love him. After 1 year, I go back to Iraq. This guy, he bring 100 people to Lord. This guy is open his church. Still till today, he have a beautiful church. 1,000 people go to his church. He pay a lot of fee. He got beat. He lost his family. He lost his job. He lost everything. Just because he following Jesus. It's worth it to follow in Jesus. To lose your mom, to lose your dad, to lose your country, to lose your wife. Just because of Jesus. Maybe you are the new generation. Maybe you don't see what happened in your country before. Yugoslavia and all this country, they pay a lot of things for Christianity. Maybe you go ask your dad or your grandfather, say, did you have a hard time because of you be Christian? They're going to tell you a lot of story. They're going to tell you a lot of story. And for you guys, the young generation, because I have 4 grow home, you pay something else. I know, I feel you guys. I feel you. What you are doing daily, as my kids is doing. My kids is home, when they come home, they act as a Kurdish 100%. They talk as a Kurdish, that's everything. When they go out, they try to be American. They come inside as a Kurdish, they go out as an American. That's a lot of pain for the kids in our family. I don't know, a lot of family of you guys, you have same. You pay a lot of fee, a lot of pain because you try to be a Russian 100%, and then when you go out, you try to be an American, and you don't know you're following this or you're following this, which is right. The outside, you have a lot of good stuff. Outside, you have a lot of bad stuff. And in your age, you know, I'm going to say that God bless you guys. Serious. It's not easy in your ages and live in America, and you have 2 different cultures and different religion and all the stuff you have. You know, I don't know what to say, really. When I see my kids, they are confusing. At home, I see him home different. I see him outside different. Even in the church, when I go to the church, I see my kids, they act like American. I'm surprised, oh, my kids is home. They act different. Here, they act totally different. That's what we live, you know. That they have to pay some, is worth it following Jesus, and I do what I'm doing, you know. I have to work in it. Last time when we went to Iraq, we baptized around 14 people in a swimming pool because, you know, if the family catch them, they're going to hurt them. And we try just baptize people in a swimming pool. And with Hardy, we baptized 14 people. He was so happy and so excited. And Hardy, he doing very well, you know. I just want to share his testimony a little bit, you know, how he have a lot of pain and just thank God. He see a God and he work with God. And we are same, you know. God's opened door for me to go back to my country. God's opened doors for me to see my mom one time. God's opened door to see my family again. And God's opened many doors after you following him and you give everything in his hand and you say, God, you know, if you can help me with this, God, you're going to do. I don't know, my testimony and what I'm sharing here, I don't know how many of you guys, maybe God, you are here not by accident. You are here not by chance, and I'm not here by accident. I don't know, my message going to be for one of you guys or 2 of you guys is worth it to follow in Jesus and drop off what you have in your mind. Maybe something you don't know is a good or not. Just I'm going to telling you is worth it to follow in Jesus. Is worth it to give everything to God, to put it in the Lord's hand. That's worth it. I'm going to share this last minute, I think. I have a very good friend of mine. He passed away. He go to the heaven now. His name, Emil Butros. He's a pastor of Egypt. He's a very good speaker. He have more than 10 books. You can follow him on Google. That he was like a father for me. That guy, he go many conferences, many places. At least like 1,000 people show up in his conference. He is a good speaker. And he said one time they invite me to a place, and he say before I come to the conference, 1 week before that, I say, hey, we have a good news. Over 1,000 people registered for this conference, and we have 1 more week. We don't know how many more people are gonna register. He said, I was so excited all the week. I was praying. I said, God, you know, I want this call for us to be something totally different what I did before. He spent all his life, 55 years, just serving God, go country to share about gospel. He said, I went to the place, I was so excited. He said, I preach and everything. He said, when I'm done from my preacher and I ask the group, I say, is anyone want to give his life to the Lord? They say, nobody show up. He said, I disappoint. He said, I repeat it again. I say, maybe this is a part of the culture. We cannot ask because he was different country. He said, I repeat it. I say, anybody want to give his life to the Lord tonight? He said, zero. No one show up. He said, I was so disappointed. He said, I go back to my hotel. I start crying. I said, Lord, why you put me in this, disappoint me? I come from Egypt all the way to here. One person doesn't come forward to give his life to the Lord. He said, I was praying. I said, oh, maybe my question was a wrong question. Maybe everybody was a Christian. Nobody want to give his life to the Lord 2 times. 1 time is enough. I say, okay, next day I'm going to ask him different way, more smart. He said, my second, it was a 3-night speak. He said, next night, that he wrote it in one of his books. Just he told me face to face when we would sit down together. Because sometimes we are, as a Christian, we disappoint sometimes too. Sometimes we fight with God. Sometimes we sit down and cry, Lord, why you put me? Why you did that with me, Lord? Why you did that? You know, we have a right to cry. We have a right to ask, Lord, why? And he say, next night I finish my speak and I say, are you more smart? I say, is anyone, he want to open new page with God? Anyone who want to renew the agreement between him and his God and he work with God more? He say, zero, nobody show up. He say, I went to my hotel, I start crying. I say, God, why you did that? Why you want me? Why you bring me all the way from here, from there to here? If nobody want to give his life to the Lord, nobody want to make a new agreement with God, nobody want to work for God, why you bring me here? Why all those people, 1,500 people show up? Why they sign up? He said, the 3rd night, he said, I'm not going to ask anything. My last night, I'm going to finish and run away from the door. That's it. I'm tired of this. He said, before I finish, he said, I was stand up in a place like this. He said, I don't know what to say because my time is done. He said, I see a guy, he was walking. He was walking and a tear in his eyes and he cried. Can I see the tear from his eyes? He said, he start coming. I say, I was a 3-stop. I say, I walk down. He said, since I start go down, he said, I hear God's voice. He said, I bring you here just for this person. 1 person is enough. 1 person, he says, is enough. Same like in the Bible, he say, when the shipper, he have a 99 ship right here, and when he lost 1 ship, he left everything and go to this ship to bring it back. This guy, he was loose. He say he come and he start crying and he give his life to the Lord in the night, in the last night. I don't know my message. Maybe it's one for 1 new person from you guys. God telling you that it's worth it to follow him. It's worth it. Even you lose a lot of things, this is worth it. Because he never let you down. He never let you down. I be with him in 20 years. Many times I failed and he left me back. Left and he left me back. He's a good dad. He's a good daddy. Whose dad tore away his kids when he do something is wrong? He clean him up and hug him and kiss him and say, kids, I love you. My time is done. Just pray for me. Pray for my ministry. Pray for my family. It's my prayer to see my family come to the Lord. Thank God my wife give his life to the Lord. My kids is grow up in the church. I can take 2 minutes extra just sharing a little bit about my wife, how she give his life to the Lord. That's only 2 minutes. I'm sorry. I know the time is going. You have 4 services today. I know. When I give my life to the Lord, I go back home. My wife, she figured out I be Christian. For 3 months, she was sleeping in a different room. I sleep in a different room. After 3 months, she asked for divorce. She said, you know what, we cannot continue like that. if you not mind, just let we divorce, and we have 2 kids, and we're gonna live different houses just for the kids. It's worth it to follow in Jesus and divorce your wife. I cry all the night. Say, God, I lost my mom, and you promised me you give me 1,000 mom. And I see. I lost my brother and sister, and you say, I'm going to give you a ton of sister and brother right here. You are my sister and brother, because God's promised me you're going to see many brother and sister from different country, and I'm so excited to see you guys from different country. Just if I lose my wife and my kids, how I can get them back? I don't sleep all the night after she gave me this message. I go to the church, the church start praying, and there's one lady. She says, Sam, I pray for you from my heart. I'm going to fast for a month and a month until we see your wife convert to the Christianity. Her name Dr. Hind. She have a dental office in Houston, Texas. This lady, she was praying and fasting. And every evening she came to my home to teach my wife English. After 1 month, one night, in mid of night, my wife, she wake up. She said, Sam, we want to go to church. I say, sweetheart, is it 2 o'clock in the midnight? What do you mean go to church? Say, we have to go to church. I said, just tell me why you want to go to the church? He said, I don't know. I want to go to the church. I said, just tell me what's going on. He said, I have a dream, and I know he was a Jesus. I said, you sure? He said, yeah. I said, tell me the dream. He said, we was 1,000 women. We came in from the hill, and it was a fire. He said, all those women is fell down to the fire. He said, it's coming on fire. He said, I was one of them. He said, before I go to the fire, he said, I see his hand. He pulled me up, and he said, you are my daughter. And this night, she gave his life to the Lord. Till now, she never forget. Say, the hand has touched me. I know he was a Jesus hand, and he bring it back for me. Thank God, she's in a women ministry, and she love God. She have a beautiful heart to reach people, and she support me. She's my supporter. Think about it. In 1 year, you go 3 times to mission trip. If you don't have a good wife, you are in trouble. Even no food. I want to say thank you so much for your time. God bless you. And I was so happy to see my brother and sister from different country. And this is one of the God promise. He told me, you're going to see many brother and sister from many, many country. And I was so excited to come and see you guys. This is my 3rd service I be in Russian or Yugoslavian church. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. I want to say thank you, Michael, for bringing me here. Thank you, brother and sister, to hear my message. And we hope we see you again. If there's no heat, we're going to see you in the heaven 100%. Amen. Thank you so much, guys. God bless you.